topic, which is taboos. And this video is just going to be a quick wrap-up of what we've been covering, a little bit of the discussions we've been having, and we'll include below the video a few links to the things covering in the video here. So I wanted to begin, we used the Wikipedia articles for each idea as kind of like a guide for what is in the domain of each idea for the week, and kind of guiding where, what things we can talk about and what aspects are really related to this specific idea. And so I wanted to start by just going over the brief definition that Wikipedia has for a taboo. And according to Wikipedia, a taboo is a vehement prohibition of an action based on the belief that such behavior is either too sacred or too accursed for ordinary individuals to undertake under threat of supernatural punishment. Such prohibitions are present in virtually all societies. The word has been somewhat expanded in the social sciences to include strong prohibitions relating to any area of human activity or custom that is sacred or forbidden based on moral judgment and religious beliefs. Breaking a taboo is usually considered objectionable by society in general, not merely by a subset of a culture. And the just kind of interesting note on where the word came from here, it was, this is still from the Wikipedia page, the term taboo comes from a British explorer, James Cook, who in the 18th century went to Tonga and was observing like the cultural practices of the Tongans. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And he wrote down that he said that in his book or journal that not one of them would sit down or eat a bit of anything. On expressing my surprise at this, they were all taboo, as they said, a word which has a very comprehensive meaning, but in general signifies that a thing is forbidden. So that's where the word came from. So wanted to get into a brief overview of what we've been looking at. On Monday, we started off with 8 modern cultural taboos. And basically I was just trying to go through and read more of like a current events thing of what taboos, what taboo practices or issues are really considered taboo, or really considered something you have to avoid in our current society, or in the society that I live in, which is the U.S. So there's a list of those, and all of them are directly from some article that's out there. So there are links to all of those. Tuesday, we explored one of those 8 in a little bit more depth, and that is the taboo of mental illness, and kind of looking at it. I think that there are 2 ways of looking at or 2 aspects of the mental illness taboo, and the first is how we approach mental illness in our own lives if we suffer from any kind of mental illness. But the second one, and the one that was the topic of Tuesday's post, was how we as a group approach mental illness, how we as a society approach and view mental illness in the lives of the people who are around us. And most importantly, and this is something that I'm really passionate about just because of my background and the work I've done in the past, about mental illness in the cases where people can't help themselves, in the people who are really disabled and who depend on other people in society to really help them out. And just kind of trying to point out how that it is essentially a taboo. It's something we don't talk about, that these people are real people. They do they experience things in many ways similar to the way we do, and yet we treat them as though they're something different, that they don't really we don't treat them at all the way that we should. And April posted a great video, a really powerful video from YouTube that it's called the Being an Unperson. And it's someone who has a disability, who basically couldn't really talk normally, and now was able to have I don't know what it's called, but they can type out their words and have it translated for them. But the person is describing and kind of giving an account of what it has been like and is like for them to be considered an unperson in society. And there's one thing that I would tell you to definitely check out from this week. It would definitely be this video. We'll put a link to it below this, but an amazing, really powerful video there. So thanks to April for that, and definitely does a much better job than I did of, kind of describing what the mental illness taboo is in this situation. On Wednesday, we looked at the New York City Department of Education's list of 50 taboo words, which has been in the news a good bit over the past month or two. And it's basically it's not that no one can talk about these words, period. It's that these are the list of words that the Department of Education is putting out to the companies that make their testing materials, and saying that we don't want these words to appear on any tests because they think it would cause distractions or various things related to that. And it's a pretty intriguing, very interesting list, and won't go into any more than that at this point, but definitely a heated debate going on over whether that list is a good thing. Then on yesterday, we looked into some passages from Steven Pinker's book, The Stuff of Thought, which has to do with taboos in language and how we come up with the words that we consider taboo, especially like cuss words. And I really love Steven Pinker's book. I haven't even gotten through half of it yet because it's so heavy, but some interesting stuff there related to language. And then lastly, I just wanted to point out how something we started this week on the Facebook group, which is Luz's Question of the Week, and I wanted to read it here. I'll post the link at the bottom and you can head on over there. The question is, what defines the timeline of a taboo? We accept as normal, or at least everyday occurrences, things that only a few years ago were forbidden. And then she also asked, does the opposite happen? Can something normal actually become taboo? So if you haven't yet checked that out, head on over to the Facebook group and share your answer and join in the discussion there. And that pretty much wraps up Act 1, Chapter 6. I'm still working on the photos of the week, so that should be up later this weekend, but hope you've enjoyed talking about the taboos, the subject of taboos, as much as I have, and that you'll check back next week when we'll be exploring either racism, social psychology, or tribalism. Hope you have a good weekend.